Yeah. Hello, and hey there, hey, and welcome to the pod of Born Star, Born Star, Born Star. Where you recognize you're a star, because you're a star wherever you are. It is Tuesday. Can you believe that? Another Tuesday. It's freezing here in New England, and I can barely feel my fingers, and walking outside is like being in an igloo of frozen. I don't know, but I wonder how they feel in Canada, because it gets cold a lot faster in Canada than it does here. So I guess I can't complain. Weather's weather. It's either hot, cold. We're always complaining about it one way or the other. It's a Monday, and it's another opportunity for us to recognize how awesome we are, for us to look in the mirror, recognize our reflections, and be willing to challenge ourselves to do everything that we want to do. We're not going to be here a long time. Why not follow dreams? Why not be successful? Why not try to become a part of the 1% and live unapologetically and lavishly? Why can't you do that? Why can't you buy a house? Why can't you buy a condo? Why can't you get a car? Why can't you do any of these things? Why can't you? That's the question. Anyways, when it comes to Tuesdays, let's get into our favorite part of our conversation. No media allowed, no media allowed, no media allowed. They lie to us anyway. It's a Tuesday. Who knows what's going on in the political world of morons.com, aka the politicians. I'd like to say that maybe these people came to their senses and they're a little smarter, but I don't think so. I don't think they got the memo. They didn't get the message, and they're not doing anything the way they could or should be doing. They are so far removed from reality, it's ridiculous. But how do you think they got that far away from reality? Today on No Media Allowed, I want us to kind of dissect the insanity that we have to listen to when it comes to news. The propaganda that's being shoved down our throats, that we have to stare at and look at day in and day out, and how we need to be questioning them all the time. The media is run by Mark Zuckerberg, it's run by Jeff Bezos, and it's run by the rest of the oligarchs that are in control of social media. If you for 1 second think that the media is actually run by with journalists that actually do their job, it's not. Those journalists are not on the TV. Like the journalists that work at the Young Turks, okay, they're doing an okay job. There's other journalists as well that actually give you stories that can be looked at from more than one side. Like the fact that Jeff Bezos owns the Wall Street Journal should have you questioning, like, what am I reading? Like, is this going to be geared to one side versus the other, or one person versus another? Yes, it is going to be geared toward that, because there's actually no media here. Like there's nothing that's real. It's all fabricated, and it's all created for one reason: to make people look a certain way. So how do you think it got this bad, where the politicians are working with the morons that are asking them questions with a microphone? They all work together. Like I say, I like to say this: there's one party, they're both in the party, and we're not invited to it. I mean, we're the ones paying for the party. We made the down payment for the party. We looked at everything that goes into the party. The food, we catered it. You know, we had all the flowers added outside to the outside portion of the party. We had the dance lessons provided to everybody that was attending it. You know, we created the guest list. We did all the work that goes into a party like a wedding, except they forgot to invite us to it. That's the definition of politicians, and that's the definition of the United States of America. Two people, two parties, two colors. They pretend like they're going against each other. They'll come together in bipartisanship if it benefits them, not us, them. I don't want to hear about you giving a tax credit to a small minority group of people, okay? Like the poverty in America, it's bad, but 330 million people live here, and I'm tired of talking about people that don't have it as good as others. Everyone is given the same opportunity. What they decide to do with their opportunity is not my problem. Nobody gives me anything, so why should anyone else get anything? Are you really getting rewarded for having kids you can't take care of? Maybe we shouldn't be giving $7,800 to people that can't figure out how to take care of kids. They're leaving kids in garbage cans, just doing the most ridiculous things. Some of them are deciding to kill their kids. Like, why are we rewarding laziness? We just talked about that yesterday. What happened to hard work and dedication? Is that just gone? The media doesn't hold anybody accountable. It's always someone else's fault, and no one wants to be the one to get the blame. Like ever. Biden doesn't know how to have a conversation. None of them know how to actually talk. Kamala Harris is hated. No one actually likes Nancy Pelosi. If you look at the state she represents, the district she represents, it's horrible. The numbers there, wretched. Look at what these people are doing. I'm not pro-Republican either because I disagree 1,000,000% with their perception of education, race, and I disagree with what they're doing to women with abortions. For you to go to that degree to try to remove a woman's right to get an abortion is ridiculous. Stop using Christianity, which is a business, as a blockade for a bunch of psychotic people. Like, what are you doing? Like, don't give these people any leverage. Like, I actually heard this man that was a pastor or something say he couldn't get on a regular flight with Delta because there were demons on the plane, in the regular area of the plane that wasn't first class. So he said he needed to get his congregation to give him money to get a private jet. These are the people that they run with. These lunatics. Are we really having this conversation? Are we really having these conversations where we don't hold these people accountable? That's what I'm saying. It's far easier to point the blame, and the Young Turks do this all the time, and so does Majority Report. They take segments out of conversations of shows from Fox News, like Tucker Carlson or Laura Ingraham or any of these morons that are in these stations that know they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're just getting paid and they don't care because they're about the money. And honestly, I can't blame them. I don't care about capitalism. If that means I'm not getting punished because I want to have more than one job and all I got to do is pay tax, I don't care. Why do I need to care about poverty? Why do I need to care about homeless people? Granted, there are homeless people and they need help, but they already created divisions of the government for that. I will tell you that the government sucks. But the Young Turks or any other news station like CNBC or CNN or any of these morons that have these podcasts or these shows that want to go against Trump or Tucker Carlson or, like I said, Laura Ingraham or just Fox News altogether. Fox News is not doing bad. For all the hype that you give to Fox News, and sometimes I like watching Tucker Carlson because I find him annoying and it's just kind of funny to listen to what he's saying. Fox News with Sean Hannity, their numbers aren't bad. Trump, while he was in office for 4 years, made the numbers go up for media. So the reason why the democratically run news stations keep talking about Trump and Fox News and all these things is because it probably gets some clicks. Because no one wants to talk about boring Biden. How many times are we going to talk about Joe Manchin and Kristen Cinnamon or Cinema, whatever the hell her name is? Or any of these other morons, Marjorie Taylor Greene? Are we going to keep talking about the kid that got away with shooting the guy in Minneapolis or wherever the hell that was? I can't even remember his name. That's how much he doesn't matter. They're losing sight of the bigger thing. This is Fox News, who's purposely giving out bullshit, and I'm sorry I had to say it, bullshit, for a reason. It's giving them money. They don't actually believe in anything they're probably saying. You know what it does? It provides them with money. Do you really think Tucker Carlson cares about anything that's coming out of his mouth? No, it's a game. Like, I try to have this conversation with people, but they're not smart enough to understand what the hell I'm talking about. Like, and that's why I'm telling my audience what I'm talking about. News is a game. It's a joke. The joke's on us watching it. Reasons why I don't look at news. Reasons why I stop listening to a lot of things. I don't want to be the victim of your insanity. I don't want to be the victim of your manipulation. You utilizing something that has already happened and you keep talking about it over and over and over again like it actually matters. When the Young Turks, when Jink or Anna Kasparian on the Young Turks, or even John, or any of them, JR, any of those that go on TYT, when they have these ridiculous ass conversations and they're trying to oust Tucker Carlson or any other Republican or person that's against democratic thoughts or progressive views, they look stupid. And I'm not saying I don't like the Young Turks, because I do. I'm not saying I don't like Majority Report. I like the dude in charge of that too. I'm not saying I don't like these people. They need to be more cautious about how they're appearing to everyone else. People that aren't progressive. People that aren't far left. People that are just trying to be in some sort of a middle ground, and they want to hear from like all sides and hear what's going on. Like, the Hill is a good way of what I'm talking about. They have a good way of representing sort of like a bias, like a middle. Is there actually a middle? And Jink talks about how he wants to hold Republicans and Democrats accountable. But if that's the fact that we're holding Republicans and Democrats accountable, then every day he should be downing on Biden. Because Biden hasn't done anything about student loans unless you're disabled or you're in the Army. And I got to tell you, they already were getting that free. So you didn't do anything with student loans. Like, where's my student loan forgiveness? Like mine. It's not there yet. Still waiting. Every day I'm waiting for an email from Miguel from Department of Education to tell me my student loans have been forgiven. And when he does send me the email, I'll come on here and tell you all about it. But he hasn't sent it yet because they don't want to reward people that are actually trying to do what they're supposed to do. Super. Progressives. And I'm talking about ALC and the rest of the squad and Elizabeth Warren and all you morons that want to talk about climate change and act like Build Back Better is so much better. Okay. While Trump was in office, I wasn't paying $4 a gallon for gas. I wasn't. While Trump was in office, I wasn't dealing with inflation up the yin yang. I wasn't. When Trump was in office, I wasn't overpaying for clothes. I wasn't overpaying for everything that I'm buying. The shelves at the store don't have things on them. Do you know that I went to Sbarro's the other day and they're not giving to-go boxes because they don't have enough of the distribution center? In the Dollar Tree in the neighborhood I work in, they don't have bags in the Dollar Tree. They are running out of things that they cannot get. There's signs in the grocery store. There's signs in the store. H&M is closing throughout the week because they don't have enough employees to work there. These are things from different places, different companies, different stores, different times, different days. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm one person recognizing this in a country that's probably more than 330 million. I say 330 million, but it's likely more than that. I'm one out of 330 million, and I gotta tell you, half of that number does not like Biden. So right off the bat, he's screwed. Like, Trump's good for business. And yeah, he failed with those golden like toilets on the planes, and he's kind of a moron in some ways, and some of the things he does is questionable, but you can't be mad at him. He's a billionaire. Like, he doesn't care about being the president. That shit was probably a joke to him. Like, he did a kind of okay job. You know, I feel like he approached it the correct way. Like, we need to get politicians out of these positions because they suck at them. Like AOC, like, she's not the best pick. Like a bartender, like I gotta tell you, like she's pretty, and other people will definitely argue with me and tell me all the reasons why she should be a legislator or she should be in the House of Representatives. But is she only in the House so she could fold to Nancy Pelosi in front of everyone's face constantly over and over and over again and not have any sort of a backbone? Is she only in the House of Representatives and is she only working for a district that she doesn't actually do anything for? Because having Amazon leave New York in that area to go to Connecticut is not good, dude. It's not. You look stupid. I'm tired of you acting like your boyfriend is not white or Caucasian. He is. Don't act racist like you're talking about how white people are all racist, because they're not. Like, these people are in their own ways. And the reason we're talking about how this all started today, we're having this kind of crazy conversation, is because how did this start? How do we get to a place where politicians aren't held accountable? They don't know what the hell they're doing. And how did they get elected? They're getting elected because they're saying one thing, but then when they get elected and they get put in the position, they don't do it. So they need to get removed from office and replaced. They need to get recalled. And just what happened to Gavin Newsom needs to happen to the rest of them. And even though he won, thank God, because the other one's a moron that was trying to run against him, more things need to happen to these politicians so they can recognize who they work for, because it's us. And until they recognize what their positions actually are, they're just going to continue this. We're talking about this like it's going to change, but I don't know if it's actually going to. Thank you for tuning into your Tuesday version of No Media Allowed, No Media Allowed, No Media Allowed. They lie to us anyways. And Biden hasn't forgiven my student loan forgiveness yet. Haven't gotten that. He can sign the paper with a pen. And Miguel knows that from Department of Education. They all know that. He doesn't want to do it because it doesn't help his cronies in Wall Street or the cronies at the Department of Education that can't wait to give out loans to people that can't afford them. Yeah, welcome to education in America. Welcome to it. Anyways, the next part of our conversation feeling brand new. No, not feeling brand new. Well, you should feel brand new. But the next part of our conversation is stronger and smarter. Ways you become stronger and smarter. You know how you become stronger? By dealing with a situation and getting over it. Moving forward. Not holding on to grudges, not staying mad at people, not staying angry with people. Learning and letting go. You can't hold on to anger. You can't hold on to irritation. You can't be jealous and envious and all these different emotions all at once, constantly and over and over and over again. You got to take it in and you got to let it out. Some people are going to do stupid things. People are going to piss you off. People are going to make you mad. You're going to be upset with your family, with your friends, with strangers that you meet on the street. You're going to be pissed off getting in your car, driving to the store with some moron wants to cut you off just to go 5 seconds away. The world is full of dumb people. Let's just be fully aware of that and say it out loud. It is. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. Is it? Basically, right? We're living in a time that's dominated by social media, metaverse, whatever the hell you want to call it. All anybody does is talk about TikTok, and all anyone does is talk about Snapchat. I don't even use TikTok. I have Instagram, but I don't really even go on that anymore. Like, I just feel like we don't actually talk about things. We are talking about something that we saw somewhere. Stronger than ever means that you're able to hold the conversation, you're able to let things go, and you don't get caught up in that social media atmosphere where you can't see things. You're able to acknowledge reality. And smarter is tying into that because you're not as easily persuaded to do something stupid. You know, you're not going to fall for the tricks of media like we talk about all the time, where they provide fabrications of reality and they want to utilize one thing to talk about it over and over and over and over and over again like you forgot what they just talked about. It's the same thing every day. the same thing. Nothing changes. They're doing it on purpose. Social media does the same thing. News does the same thing. Books do the same things. Articles, they're talking about the same thing. Why are we still talking about Trump? Why are we talking about Facebook? Facebook isn't going to change, man. These kids are doomed. These kids that aren't like teenagers yet, they're doomed. They're going into a world that they're not going to be ready for. They're not even going to get to be kids. They're not going outside. They're not doing anything that kids probably should be doing. They're going to be on iPads and iPhones and all this other crap, and they're not going to know anything cool. Do you think kids look at, I don't know, records? Do they have any familiarity with anything that's not on an iPhone? No. It's going to get worse. Smarter. Learning how to not always be attached to something or someone. People are going to not be reliable in your life. It's unfortunate, but it's true. I have so many stories or experiences in my life that I could tell you about where I thought someone was going to be a friend and they ended up not being a friend. But I have so many other situations where I recognize how I don't know if I can actually trust people, because when I try to do something with somebody, they're never available. Right? I mean, what are we talking about? Where you have to realize that people aren't who they say they are. Which is why I don't know if I ever want a best friend again. Outside of Skip, who kind of is my best friend, and my dog, Benny, my Yorkie Terrier, my teacup. I don't know if I want a best friend out of the two of them. Like, I think as you start to get older, you start to recognize that people are in your life for a reason or season. Smarter, recognizing that very fast and letting it go. Not holding on to the fact that you're not friends with people or needing someone. Like, do you always have to have someone talk to you on the phone? I'm seeing people yell on the phone explaining their entire life to someone on the other line. Why am I seeing that? Like, granted, people want to have people to talk to, but you understand what I'm saying? Why are you explaining yourself to other people? Don't fall for the trap. Don't fall for it. Sometimes things are not going to go the way you want. Learn from your mistakes. Let your mistakes be lessons. Don't harper on the bad of a situation. Find the good in it. Stronger and smarter. That's just it. As you learn, you grow. And as you grow, you learn. It's vice versa. We're constantly getting older. We have a birthday every year. Take what you can learn every birthday. Don't be quick to drop a job. Don't be quick to decide you want to move across the country. You have all these grandiose ideas, but you can't get there. You can't move to another city or another town or another state unless you have 2 months or 3 months rent to do it with. Okay? If you've got property, you can't move to another state till you find somebody to buy the house you got, you sell it, and you go somewhere else. Unless you're robbing the system and you're pretending like you are actually saving somebody and you're in Christianity and you want to be a pastor and just lie to people and get free money out of them. If you want to do that, I mean, I guess you could do that. If you've got a stable enough position where you could leave and move, okay. But you have to be smart about things. Like, just wanting to give up, that's not smart. Things aren't always easy. Some things are difficult. Some things are going to be tiring. Some things are going to be okay. Be aware of that and just be able to move on. There's just that. Next part of our conversation outside of that, housing market is insane right now. We are looking on and off every other day, and every time I find something, it's gone in 5 seconds. And yeah, that's basically what's happening. Everyone is paying more, and I don't think the housing market is going to go back to whatever it was before. Granted, things might change a little bit, but the Fed has already made the decision to just not give a flying plug. So we're at that point. Where this goes, I don't know. Great. I don't know. Like, I feel like you're paying more for houses, or you get in a bidding war with someone. And if you want to move to a certain areas, there's basically nothing there. Like, I could tell you there's a town I want to move in to where we live that I love, and there's nothing in it. And I mean nothing. There's like 2 houses. Two in the whole town. That's in the price range. And I don't even think that the houses on some of the prices for these houses, they're not worth the price. Like if you look at the house and you look at some of the features of it, or the backyard, or the walls, which could be filled with asbestos, HGTV is not really good when you're looking for a house, because it leaves you wondering, like, oh my God, like what could possibly be wrong with this? That's why you have to bring someone with you to inspect the house and make sure everything's okay. But sometimes when the inspectors go in there, I don't know if they do a good enough job. Like I really think I need to like get someone that's a family member or something to like really get in there and verify that there's no asbestos in the wall. Like we don't have any cracks in any foundation. Like we want to make sure that everything is going to be okay. The housing market is insane. I don't think it's going down. Granted, in the summer I thought it was going to get better, but at this point it's not going to. So if you're thinking about buying a house, buy it now so you can get in at a really ridiculously low rate before the rates go back up, because the Fed is just like, I'm all about done. Things are going to go up steadily. So be fully aware of that. I don't know, man. Houses, it's supposed to be a situation where you get to a point in your life and you're ready to buy a house and you go look at a house. Now you get to a point where you want to go look to buy a house, and you and the realtor are trying to find a house at the same time. And then you both end up talking to each other. It's like, oh, found this house, and you have the same house. Exactly. To be continued, because I don't know. This is crazy. Granted, when we find one, I mean, I'll tell you guys all about it. But it's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. So much fun. So much fun. Next part of our conversation. How important are pools? You know what I mean? Like, granted, looking for property, you know, I'm tempted to get a condo if it has a pool, so I can go to the pool, and it's a private pool, because I don't know how I feel about going to a pool that's public. I really don't want to do that. You know, it's always been a thing for me to get like a beach house or something by the beach where it's got a pool attached to it, so I can go into that. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, I feel like this is a difficult conversation. Like, pools. Does it need to be a part of the house you're buying? Yes, it does. Are you going to find a pool? I don't know. Is it something you're going to want to put in? Because that costs a lot of money. We're looking at like $200,000 or up, depending on how big the pool is going to be. And then you got to know the right people to put it in, because you can't be trusting these house people. Like, they're not all good. I don't know. Like, and then there's upkeep with pools. So as much as I like pools and everything, I don't know if I can do it. Like, it's questionable. I don't know. What do you think? To be decided. Next part of our conversation, let's get into watching things. So we've been watching Cobra Kai, like I told you about. So far, pretty interesting. I've been trying to finish up on Locke and Key. As I get further into the season, like, things are getting real crazy with that. It's very entertaining and good. I still need to finish Legacies, and I need to finish Lucifer. Not Lucifer. What the hell is the name of the show? Lucifer. But I don't know, like, I kind of want to watch Lucifer slowly, because I like that show and I find it absolutely hilarious. I haven't started Sex and the City yet, but maybe I'll try it. I think before I go into this new season, I gotta catch up on whatever happened in the last season, because I don't remember any of it. I think I watched it on some platform. I don't remember where I looked at it at, but I did catch up with all of it. But I'm definitely off on some of it. I gotta catch up on what's going on with Carrie, and we'll see what happens. Outside of those things, waiting to see what comes on Hulu. There's been hockey on, like we've discussed. Disney Plus, Boba Fett, very good. No complaints about that. Disney's doing a great job with Marvel, and there's so many opportunities of things that they can go into with that universe. Just after the last episode of Loki, I mean, sky's the limit with that. So I guess we'll have to see what's next. Stranger Things is supposed to be coming out soon, so we're waiting for that to air. And I guess we'll have to see whatever's next. There hasn't been any real new movies on Netflix yet, but I guess maybe we'll find something that's new. I don't know how we feel about the movie theater. Like, it's okay, but unless the movie is really good, we're not going to see it. Unless, like, it's like 007 Daniel Craig good. Like, that was an amazing movie to see in a movie theater. Outside of something like that, we're not just going to the movie theater to see anything hunky-dory. So we won't be investing our time or money into that. I mean, we weren't doing that before COVID, but we're definitely not doing it now. And let's not lie about it and act like we are, because we're not. Next part of our conversation, outside of wonderful watching, we talked before about when's the best time to buy a new TV. Do you have to have a big giant TV in your bedroom and a big giant TV in your living room too, or in a movie room? And do you think movie rooms are necessary for a home? As we're getting closer to buying a property, I definitely want either the movie room to be in the family room, or I want to have like a big screen or a big TV and like the basement, and build a movie theater in like a basement or something. I was thinking about, getting the projection screen and doing it like that, because that was probably an easier option. Like a 60 or 70 inch. I don't know how much that's going to be, but that might be a big enough TV. We'll see. But I do think that movie rooms are essential, because you can basically watch whatever you want. My Paramount Plus, Disney Plus, Shudder, Amazon Video, Netflix, Hulu. There's more. There's a lot more. With these streaming devices or services, Disney Plus, you can literally watch whatever you want. So having like a movie room, or having like an area where you can watch movies, you can build your own movie theater. You get a popcorn maker, get some different flavors, done. Why not do that? You see how much fun that could be? See what I'm saying? Why not have fun? I don't know. I think it would be interesting. Next part of our conversation, I got all these fun toys for Christmas, and I haven't used the pizza stone yet, but I want to, so we're going to try that out this week. I'm trying to do better with how I'm eating, because, my whole thing with Big Star is learning how to live longer and stronger, okay? Because so many people get diabetes, or they end up having to take insulin shots, or something goes wrong with their health and digestion, and it ends up really making their life harder. And we want to avoid that. So, is there a way to eat healthier but not spend all your time meal prepping? I don't know. I was going to do Factor, but after talking to Skip, I don't know if I want to do that. Do I want to spend $52 a week on meal preps that are already done? Granted, it would make my life easier. There's that. But is it worth that money when I could just make something by myself? I don't know. Like living on a budget and trying not to waste money, you got that. So we decided not to do it right now. But like, I wanted to do Factor because it provides keto meals that don't have everything else in it that other meals do have in it. So that's why I was more so focused on that. But I think maybe I need to do some more digging around to find something that might not be as expensive. But I'm definitely going to look into that and see if I can find anything. Outside of that, like meal prepping and finding a good ordering system, or the fact that I haven't played with my pizza stone yet, I do want to have some fun with some quesadillas, and I want to try to make my own. We'll see what happens with that. Does it really work? How are they going to come out? I want to try out all those things and see if it's good. We'll have to wait and see. I'm trying to eat healthier. I'm trying to drink more water. I'm trying to make better decisions for the kitchen and better decisions for my body. Like, I don't want to constantly be eating out and wasting money. That's not beneficial to me or my bank account. Like, it's not. And artificial food and food that you're getting from restaurants, it's all not good all the time. Like, you have to spread it out and not constantly be eating out all the time. I know it's convenient, but it's not going to be convenient when you try to get into your pants and they don't fit. See what I'm saying? Be very cautious of things. Things look good, but that doesn't mean they're good for you. So, starting off the year right, I'm going to try to stay focused on eating healthy and maintaining a certain amount of calories each day. I do intermittent fasting till about 1 o'clock, and then at that time, typically I have lunch, depending on when my break is at work. I try to figure it out to make sure everything matches up correctly. You can figure out what diet works best for you, or you can add things in from one and add things in for another, whatever makes your life easier. The goal of Big Star, the goal of healthiness, the goal of finding a trend or creating this into your lifestyle is so it becomes easier and you're not thinking about it. It's just a part of how you're living. That's what healthy is supposed to be. I don't know if you need Weight Watchers. I don't know if you need to pay for all these things. I don't know if you need a membership and a meal plan and you need to talk to a coach and you need all this one-to-one thing. Do you need all this life support? Do you need Nutrisystem? Is that really necessary? I don't know if it is. Like, do you want Nutrisystem? Like, I don't know. Like, do I need Factor? I talked to myself into it until I started to think about the fact that $52 a week is about $20 a month, which is a lot of money every year. Is it worth it for me to spend all that money? I don't know. This is a situation where I'm really going to have to think hard and think long about that. Your health is in your hands. Do you want to live a long time and enjoy your life? Do you want to have children, watch them grow up, and then have grandkids? Do you want to go on vacations? Do you want to travel? Do you want to be able to run around and run and exercise and walk longer? Do you want to have a lot of surgeries? I mean, there's two options. Change and do better, or die. There's just that. Or live miserably. Like, injecting yourself with insulin and doing all these things, that's not living. That's barely surviving. And you don't want to barely survive during your lifetime. So, friendly advice. Longer and stronger only exists with healthiness. Cauliflower rice, I know you might not want to eat that, but it's probably better for you than real rice. Get a KitchenAid. Learn how to use the strainer. Learn how to make your own juice. Learn how to use a spiralizer. Learn how to do all these things so it becomes a habit and you're not thinking about pasta. So it becomes a habit and you're making all your own food and you're not thinking about ordering out. Or when you do go to order out, it's really a treat because you really never do it anymore. You see what I'm saying? Learn. Live and learn. I dare you to do it. Anyways, it's the end of the pod. Thank you for tuning into this Tuesday version of Born Star, Born Star, Born Star. Where you recognize you're a star. Because you are a star wherever you are. I'll see you tomorrow on Wednesday.